Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Port Charles was already trembling under whispers of the impossible, but nothing could have prepared them for what was about to happen inside the cold, fluorescent-lit corridors of General Hospital. The air inside the nurses' station felt thick, heavy, like the calm before a violent storm. Nathan West stood rigid, jaw tight, eyes dark with frustration. Across from him, Britt Westbourne crossed her arms, her posture defensive but her mind racing. They weren't arguing. They were circling something far more dangerous. Anna believes he's alive, Nathan said sharply, running a hand through his hair. She's convinced of it. Britt's eyes narrowed. You're talking about Faison. The name hung between them like poisons. Cesar Faison. The monster, the manipulator, the obsession that had nearly destroyed half of Port Charles, especially Anna Devane. Nathan exhaled slowly. Anna says he kidnapped her, that he's back. Britt scoffed, but there was unease behind it. She's in a mental health clinic, Nathan. You really think Faison just magically crawled out of the grave? Don't, Nathan snapped quietly. Don't dismiss her like that. Britt tilted her head. You said yourself there's no proof. Nathan's jaw tightened. Anna may think she has proof, but she sure as hell didn't get it from Faison. The words had barely left his mouth when the door burst open with dramatic force. And there she was. Liesl Obrecht. Smiling. Radiant. Almost glowing. Britt blinked. Mother. Liesl swept into the room like a queen returning to claim her throne. Nathan, oh, how delightful that I have found you. Nathan stiffened instantly. What's wrong? Wrong, Liesl gasped theatrically. Nothing is wrong. In fact, I bring the most joyous news. Britt frowned. You're terrifying me. Liesl clasped her hands together, eyes sparkling with mischief and something deeper, triumph. Nathan, she said sweetly, are you sitting down? Nathan glanced at the empty chair behind him. No. Pity, Liesl said brightly, because you are about to need it. She leaned forward. And then she dropped the bombs. Maxie is awake. Silence. Total paralyzing silence. Nathan stared at her. The words didn't register. They couldn't. Maxie Jones awake. No, Nathan whispered. Liesl beamed, yeah, out of her coma, eyes open, breathing, conscious. The room tilted. Nathan had prepared himself for many things lately, Anna's breakdown, Faison conspiracies, even the fragile possibility of moving forward with Lulu Spencer. But not this. Not Maxie waking up. Not now. Britt stepped back slightly, absorbing the shock. She doesn't know, Britt murmured. She doesn't know I'm alive. Another complications. Another emotional landmines. Nathan's pulse pounded in his ears. Maxie, the love of his life, the woman who had mourned him, the woman who believed he was dead. He had only just begun entertaining the idea of something new with Lulu, something tentative, cautious. Now, everything changed. Everything shattered. Across town in a softly lit hospital room, Maxie blinked against the sterile ceiling lights. Her head felt heavy, her thoughts scrambled. Beside her bed, Felicia Scorpio squeezed her hand, tears already streaming down her face. Sweetheart, Felicia whispered, you're awake, oh God, you're awake. Maxie tried to speak, but her throat burned, confusion clouded her expression. Mom, she croaked. Felicia nodded, brushing hair from Maxie's face, you've been in a coma. Maxie's eyes widened. And then Felicia made the mistake, or perhaps the miracle, of telling her the truth. Nathan is alive. Maxie froze. Her expression shifted from relief to disbelief. No, she whispered weakly, no, he's dead. Felicia shook her head desperately. He's here, he came back. Maxie stared at her mother like she'd just spoken madness. Somewhere in the hospital corridors, Nathan felt his world beginning to collapse inward. Because waking up was one thing. But believing, that was another. And if there was even a flicker of doubt in Maxie's eyes, if she looked at him and saw something wrong, then everything would unravel. Because deep down, beneath the relief, beneath the fear, there were whispers. Whispers that the man claiming to be Nathan West might not be exactly who he said he was. And if Maxie sensed it, if she felt even one strange vibration, Port Charles would explode. Nathan swallowed hard. "I have to see her," he said. And as he rushed down the corridor, unaware of the storm forming behind his own reflection, the past began to stir. Because if Faison was alive, and if Maxie was awake, then someone's secret was about to be exposed. And nothing in Port Charles would ever be the same again. The hallway seemed longer than ever. Every step Nathan West took felt like walking toward judgment. His palms were damp, his heartbeat thundered. This was supposed to be a miracle. So why did it feel like a reckoning? Inside her room, Maxie Jones struggled to piece reality together. Faces floated in her mind, memories fractured and blurred. Dead. Nathan was dead. She had mourned him. She had buried him. She had shattered because of him. And now, her mother was telling her he was alive. The door creaked open. Felicia turned, and then he stepped inside. Nathan, alive, breathing, real. Maxie's breath hitched violently. Time stopped. She stared at him, scanning his face, his eyes, the subtle tension in his shoulders. He looked the same. Exactly the same. But something flickered behind his gaze. Fear. "Nathan," she whispered. His voice broke. "Hey, Maxie." Tears flooded her eyes. She wanted to leap into his arms. She wanted to believe. But grief does something dangerous to the human heart. It makes miracles feel suspicious. "You're dead," she said faintly. He stepped closer. "I'm not." "How?" Silence. Felicia stepped back, giving them space. Nathan's explanation tumbled out. DNA confirmed, fingerprints matched, everything verified. But Maxie wasn't listening to the words. She was listening to instinct, to rhythm, to the way his voice carried, the way his eyes avoided hers for half a second too long. And then, a memory flashed. Faison, the manipulator, the master of deception. If he was alive, if Anna was right, then nothing was impossible. Maxie's fingers trembled. "Look at me," she whispered. Nathan did. Their eyes locked. The room disappeared. "Tell me something," she said quietly, "something only you would know." His breath stalled. Across town, Liesl Obrecht stood at a window, watching the rain begin to fall over Port Charles. She knew storms. She thrived in them. Behind her smile, behind her joy at Maxie waking, there were layers. Secrets. Because if Faison was alive, then this reunion might not be salvation. It might be destruction. Back in the hospital room, tension snapped like a wire pulled too tight. Nathan answered Maxie's question. And for a split second, relief flooded her face. She believed him. Or at least she wanted to. She threw her arms around him, sobbing into his shoulder. Nathan closed his eyes, holding her tightly. But his expression shifted. Not relief. Not pure happiness. Something darker. Something calculating. Just for a heartbeat. Then it vanished. Maxie pulled back slowly. "I missed you," she whispered. "I'm here," he replied. But outside that room, outside that fragile embrace, Anna was whispering from her clinic bed. Faison isn't done. And somewhere in the shadows of Port Charles, a man watched. Watching the reunions. Watching the doubt. Watching the cracks begin to form. Because love can blind you. Grief can soften you. But instinct never lies. And whether Maxie realizes it now or later, something about Nathan's return isn't right. If she ignores it, she could lose him again. If she follows it, she might uncover a truth too dangerous to survive. One thing is certain. Maxie waking up wasn't just a miracle. It was the beginning of a war. And in Port Charles, no one escapes unscarred.